To be fair, at this point I'm mostly made of biscuits, so it's to be expected. Yesterday we did the actual fitting of the bridge itself. It's back on there again now. All happy. Didn't really kind of dodged a bullet there with it going a bit on the wonk. Think about it last night. Wailing, gnashing of teeth, shaking my fist in the air, that kind of thing. I think next time, if I do next one, which I probably will, I would make a template so I could mark out the exact points of where everything has to sit first. It would probably be kind of this section. It'd be like have the holes for where this needs to go, but up to the neck, out to the front, and the holes where everything needs to go behind that. So I can just mark it square on, get exactly the right points. Because I think yesterday the bit and it kind of just wobbled a little bit. So I need to, if I was more certain about where the points should go, it probably would have been okay. So that for next time, I think is probably what I will do. Because I sort of intend to, after this, with that fixed, would be to probably go and actually maybe buy a cheap guitar with real crappy bits on it and just the basic shape. Get it, swap out everything, renew it, and maybe buy a broken one off the Tinterwebs and do it that way. Okay, so today what we're going to do, we're going to basically just be putting it back together again, so it's quite exciting. When you think about it, this is the point where we've been working towards reassembly. Gonna look up all the intonations and the rod straightenings, that kind of thing, for a last kind of penultimate episode of actually setting it out properly. And then I've gonna get my amp out of storage and then just see if it actually makes a noise. There's no point putting the 9-volt battery in the actual ahead of time, because I don't know when that's going to be. So it might be dead by the time I actually get to use it. So anywho, so today let's get to it. I'm going to fit some strings. And this one is a heavy bottom. And this goes from 52, which is a big thick gauge, to 10s, which kind of is good for chunking out the heavy riffs and still being able to do a solo, doing bends and that kind of thing. Because if you've got a big heavy one at the bottom, it just goes boom, and you can't really get a decent bend out of it. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. First things first, going to take these old strings off, as you can see where they're all knackered. Don't really want to use them again. Actually came out. Interesting. I'll put this old bit back together again so I don't lose it, just in case I do ever get the right bit to fix it. I can set it on Tinterwebs. Keep as much of it together as I can. Oh, it's bent out of shape. Stop it. Kind of looking back on where we've got to and how far we've come with this thing. It's actually quite not even impressive, but it's quite interesting, the journey we've had to kind of get this completed, learning about the actual, like this bit itself, the history behind the actual tremolo itself, and how these went through the whole rigmarole, and West Tone not being able to call themselves West Tone and all that kind of thing, and learning about the actual physical properties of them and what's involved. Well, I found it interesting. Probably nobody else did. So the side of guitar stuff you don't really look at when you're when it's just your weapon of choice, really. A lot of guys, when I was younger, would know all the technical stuff, but generally speaking, they would never live their business. They just literally learnt how to play really, really well, but just didn't really play. Whereas I played a lot, just never really learned any interesting things about them. Scales and modes and that kind of thing. Stay. Alright. First things first would be to put this back on. Hope we haven't lost all the screws. That'd suck, wouldn't it? You see, I did put some tape on this one that been bitten through. I should keep that okay in there. Make sure we don't pinch anything. Make sure it still fits. Maybe one of those. Yeah, you need to go down the middle. There we go. That's better, you. Screwdriver. Oh, really? This is kind of awesome. I'm not trying to pretend I actually know what I'm doing, but I am kind of making it up as I go along, just like everyone else. If I've got any expertise in guitars, it's just making loud noises with them. I was always told I was good. People enjoyed my music, but I was never a amazing theorist. I have no idea really, but I've started learning about scales and modes. It's just, to be honest, I tried and it just didn't really sit in my head. I was like, it's like school. I'd rather just go down a pub, learn how to play by working out music. Did a lot of stuff by ear, learning from, like, you know, other people's songs and learning it that way, which gave me a good ear for music, but at the same time I still don't know much theory, which I think held me back a bit in my playing. I think it's handy to know even if you don't use it. There we go. Strings and things. We got 52, big fat one. That's your E, A, D, G, B, hi. That's how I learnt it. Every amplified, detuned guitar blasts evil. Yeah, it helped me stick in my head anyway. First, let's put the big fella on. You did once. Let's put them loose. I did hear you sometimes should start in the middle and work outwards. I never begun with that. I especially used to put them in fairly loose and then tie them up. But hey, what do I know? Always unwind them away from your face, because they are pokey bastards. To give them a technical term. Alright, let's line this up. I always like to line them up so they're actually facing the nut. We're in the saddle, over the top. G, fiddle in with the G string. That's what I started playing guitar for. Another shameful story for you from my days of playing in bands is I did an interview. Actually, it's one of the ones I use in the intro. Did an interview with a magazine called Terrorizer in a band I think called Slaughter of Souls. One of my favourite bands I was in, actually, to be fair. Probably was the last band. No, I was in one more after. It was the last one that actually had any success. And we did this interview with Terra Rosa, and by the time we got a guy rocked up with his little machine to record us, I was a bit drunk. We was all a bit drunk, in fact. So yeah, to be fair, quite a good interview was had by all. We had a good time. We had a good laugh. We said many, many silly things. One of which was we considered ourselves to be the motley crew of death metal, which I remember thinking was an amazing thing to say at the time. And so we did this interview, and I was actually more and more drunk as it went on. Got to the end, everyone's happy. Now within a couple of weeks when it came out, I was not at home at the time. Actually, I was away. I think I was at my girlfriend at the time's house, who became my wife in the end, and no longer. So I was over there, and Mum phoned up and said, "Oh, it's arrived." I was like, "Oh, great, cool." And so I said, "Oh, can you read it out to me?" I was quite excited, and she said, "Yeah, no worries, no worries." So she started reading the interview. It's all good stuff. Starts off fairly standard, and then she stopped. And then basically she said, "Pete guitarist said I started playing guitar too," and then she trailed off. And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." So I was like, "What's that then?" So I said, "What's that?" She went, "Oh, yeah, Pete the guitarist said I started playing guitar to get blowjobs off blondes." So believe me, the phrase "you don't want to hear from your mum ever" is repeating your words, saying how you wanted to get blowjobs off blondes. That's, yeah, to be fair, it was one of those awkward moments of life, and I think both of us wished that it didn't happen. But hey, it did. So many years of counselling later on, I think we both moved on from that. So the moral of the story there is don't do interviews drunk. If you do, don't get your mum to read it afterwards without proofreading first. And that way insanity lies. Though, to be fair, it did give me a funny story to tell everyone. If you ever fancy looking it up, I think Julian, the other guitarist and vocalist, because we both did guitar and vocal, has put it on the Tinter website. Slaughter of Souls. Best thing we did probably was Turbocharged Devil Sign, the music actually the background to the intro. Another interesting story about that one. I say interesting, it's a story. Was we recorded that in Dewsbury, where we had recorded in the previous band, most of us, Reign of Erebus, which is a black metal band. We was up there recording, and we'd done all the music. All that was left was the vocals. Me and Jules were the vocals, and we basically we're like, okay, we'd better not get drunk tonight. We're just going to go back to the hotel with B&B and just get an early night, really. Because, you know, we were doing the vocals next day. None of us are vocalists, so kind of really singers, so we're a bit worried about it. So obviously we went to the pub. Got very, very drunk. I at one point was doing karaoke Elvis impersonations, and the drummer was getting dared to drink lots of different things by the locals. We were very local. So then I got back and threw my actual guts up into a small waste paper bin, which was fun. And the next day I couldn't do my vocals. I couldn't do my death metal rasp because I'd knackered my throat up. So I had to adapt and do a more singing, kind of James Hetfieldy sort of style. And we were all a bit worried about it. It turns out everyone preferred it, and it kind of stuck. So we ended up doing more death and roll stuff because I got drunk and couldn't do my growl. There we are. Facts right there. So I've strung the guitar up. It's not in tune, obvs. But looking at it, we're kind of there. We're in lined up to the thing. We're all within the guidelines, which is nice. Takes a while for the strings to get a bit in place because obviously they're new, so they'll stretch. But the actual feeling of it itself isn't that bad. It's kind of like pretty close to what it used to be. Mm. So we have it. We have it restrung. There it is. Got to see where the strings are all in line. It's nice. All going in and back. Slight weird where this isn't quite exactly in line. It's kind of slightly up a bit. Looks like they take a sweep off, but it seems fine. We got looking at it. Gonna have to look into next. Really gonna be sort of looking at the setup, and they kind of go down. This one at the bottom, it's high up, not much of an actual much of a dip in that, so this could possibly leap off the saddle. So I might need to try and get that down into a bit further. Have got any more? You've got a bit more winding in there. These ones can wind them in. So next step, really, now we've done the quite momentous, get a face on there. It's quite momentous putting it back together again, which is kind of cool. Last time I played this was with my friends in a car. I think it might have been, my dates might have been off at the beginning bit, because I was in Slaughter Souls and then I was turning 30 and I figured that was way too old to be in bands anymore, because we were playing with a lot of young, really good bands, and I was like, wow, they're like 17, this is no longer for me. And I started, then I went back out again later on, middays, and I was in Deblo, also on the intro. Very cool, kind of like deathy industrial thing. And then afterwards just jammed a bit, because I left that because I had a family. And my son basically was born. Wonderful. Much more fun than playing in bands, if I'm honest. So, and then yeah, we rehearsed afterwards with the Slaughter Souls guys. And that was Stu, excellent drummer. Jules, just the scariest scream I've ever heard. And my brother, Mike, on bass. Boom. What can you say about bassist? Other than the fact he's built like a tank. So yeah, I'm trying to work out when it would be. Mid-10s somewhere. So that's when I last played it, really. But that, as I say, was on the other side of my marriage breaking up and moving out back home again. So this is the first time, the last time I actually played this and these riffs on there was when I was in a Happy Family unit, which is kind of quite something, really. It's kind of almost like I've ruined it now by playing it and taking that away from it. What do you know? Life works out in the end, I guess. Yes, next thing we'll be doing, now it's back together again. Back to kind of as it was, really. Is setting up. So we're going to look at the intonations, and here are the saddles, make sure they're in the right places. Making sure there's a correct bit at the back, and also that we're getting basically the neck is the truss rod's okay. So I'm gonna have to do some looking on the interwebs, and I've seen Devil Guitars, a lot of the ones who helped me out the previous time, they do an awful lot of really good guitar setup, really in depth. It just explains everything, and it's amazing. I'll put a link if I can. Ciao there. And yeah, basically I'm going to do some serious looking at that sort of stuff and work out how to do it properly so I don't give you bad information, because that's the worst thing. The internet's so full of crap anyway. I don't add to it. I'm thinking about doing afterwards. Thanks, shout out to my friend Ro, who's basically suggested I do how to play guitar bits afterwards, which I might do. It'd be kind of cool, because I'm not just going to do this is a D. I'll be doing how to play the death metal, how to play the heavy chords, whistle. Anyway, so see you on the flip side, groovers. Bye. How do? Well, I did put a little 9-volt battery. I managed to cobble out something else inside, because I did manage to get the amp or the head out of the cupboard. So, and it's on. So I plugged it in and it works. Unfortunately, I can't get it from there to you because I don't know why. It just, the phone is one of them called internal mic thing. So, believe you me, it is making an awfully metally noise right now. Don't know if we can hear this together, maybe. Don't know if you can hear this. Very metal, I'm sure you agree. So yeah, so it works. Look, we did a thing. We replaced the thing with the thing. I just hit the thing up there. I hope I haven't broken it. But yeah, it's in tune. Hasn't lost it. I've given it a right good pasting. One of my favourite riffs, by the way. That was when I was in a band called Reign of Eris. That was my riffs, baby. I wrote those. Heaviest riff ever written, by the way. Yeah. So yeah. Ding.